Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here with us. Thank you for being here tonight. I'm going to give it a couple of moments, let everybody get connected, let everybody get in. I'm sure we'll have more people join us as we get going, but I'm already 1 minute behind schedule. So I'm going to get started. Thank you all for being here tonight. We're really excited to have this welcome orientation type session for SEC members as you're starting your new term. So thank you so much for being here. If we haven't met yet, I'm Christy Boer, she, her, hers. I'm the training director. And we have several of our officers here. Chair Clayton, do you want to say hello?
Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here tonight.
And first Vice Chair Jonah Garson.
Hey everyone, I'm gonna beat Christy to it. We're going to provide the slides after after this call, so no need to furiously take notes.
Thank you, Jonah. Second Vice Chair, Dr. Kimberly Hardy.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for being here tonight.
Dr. Hardy, notoriously in her car. Elijah King, our third Vice Chair, had a conflict tonight, but Secretary Melvin Williams is here.
Uh,
Melvin, do you want to say hello?
Christy,
Good
Christy.
evening, everybody, and welcome to the meeting. We're looking forward to a big time tonight.
Elijah is here.
Oh my
I'm,
gosh.
I'm, hello,
Apologies.
everyone. Oh, you're A-okay. Thank you, everyone, for being here and taking time out of your evening to come here and be with us. I look forward to meeting you at our summer SEC meeting. Thank you so much, Christy.
Yeah, thanks, Elijah. And our treasurer, Denise Cheney. Do you want to say hello, Denise?
Hello, everybody. Hope you have a good evening. This is supposed to be a great time. Looking forward to meeting all of you.
Thank you. We also have several staff members here because I need help with a crew this big and because we know how important it is to give a good welcome to our SEC members. Lillian, would you like to say hello?
Hey y'all, I'm Lillian Taylor, she, her pronouns. I'm from Iredell County, and I'll drop my email and phone number in the chat.
Thank you, Lillian. A lot of you probably know Nye. Nye, do you want to say hello?
Hi, y'all. My name is Nye Levine. I'm the Party Affairs Director here at the NCDP. It's exciting seeing some of y'all again and meeting some of y'all.
Thank you, Nye. The famous Dorian Palmer. Dorian, you want to say hello?
Hey folks, I'm Dorian Palmer. I use he, him pronouns. I live in rural Western North Carolina here in Burke County. I serve as the Director of Coalitions and Community Engagement for the party, and I'm from Burke County.
Thank you, Dorian. And Sarah, our fantastic organizing director, say hello, please.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah O'Brien. I use she, her pronouns. I am super excited to work alongside of you all this year and next year.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. I see people introducing themselves in the chat. Awesome. You're ahead of the game. If you haven't yet and you're able and willing to introduce yourself, we would love to know maybe what county you're from. Are you a first-time SEC member? Are you a returning SEC member? Would love to see those introductions in the chat. So keep those coming. Thank you. While people are introducing themselves, a couple of housekeeping notes. Even though Jonah ruined my first bullet point, so I will send a follow-up email with this presentation. I'm also recording it, and all of the links and resources we share will be included in that follow-up email. What I ask for in return, you will get a survey from Mobilize. It'll come to you via text and or email asking if you were able to attend and how you thought the session was. So I would love for you to fill that out. I do look at the feedback and make adjustments to my program and how I run Zooms and stuff based on the feedback I hear. And we didn't do an SEC member welcome orientation last time, I don't think. So we're really excited to do that this time. Also on the screen, I have my phone number. Encourage you to save it in your phone, your address book. That way, if you ever need something from me, you've got my number handy. And if you're signed up for future training events, every once in a blue moon, I have to reschedule something, or maybe the post-event email bounces back. When I give a call, you'll know who's calling. And then we will also share the links for the North Carolina Democratic Party social media accounts. If you are not yet following us, please do. Whichever of those platforms is the one you can tolerate. Give us a follow. If you've ever thought, like, I wish I knew what the talking points are, why don't Democrats stick to the same message as well as Republicans, things like that. Following us on social media is a good step in the right direction. You'll see how we are talking about what's going on politically when we get closer to election day. We'll talk about our candidates, our opponents, and it is one way for us to have more consistent messaging. Okay, there is a lot of jargon in politics, and as an SEC member, especially if you're a new person, maybe you don't know what SEC stands for. There's going to be a lot of jargon tonight. I'm going to do my best to define terms when they come up, but I got a whole team of party officers and fellow staff members here. So if I don't explain or define something enough, put it in the chat and we will get you an answer. Finally, these are community agreements that I strive to live up to as the training director, that I ask people to follow when you attend my trainings. The one thing that's not on the slide that I do always like to highlight is that North Carolina is an incredibly diverse state. We have a lot of different types of people. We have a lot of different types of communities and neighborhoods. So what I share, if you need to adapt some of it to better meet the needs of your community, please do. You know your community better than I do. That is one of the reasons we need a strong and engaged SEC community to help us. But if you ever find that I am not living up to my ideals here, give me feedback. Quick agenda tonight. We will talk about the State Executive Committee, the SEC. We will talk about the North Carolina Democratic Party and some ways that you can plug in and take action. So to start, I'm going to kick it back to Chair Clayton.
Thank you so much, Christy, and thank you all for being on here tonight. We've got several other staff members too on here, ranging from our regional organizing directors who have been communicating with you all after your county conventions have just ended, and also are helping set up some phenomenal accountability canvases in your backyard. But I really just want to say to you all tonight, thank you and congratulations, because I have seen a lot of first timers and a lot of folks that are saying that they've never been on an SEC before, but we are really, really excited to welcome you into this body and make you all feel like you understand exactly what you need to be prepared for our first meeting this summer. A very big shout out to Nye, who's been working extremely hard on that meeting, and also to Kristen Robinson, who's on the ground out there in Buncombe County. We're excited for the first time since 2007 to be bringing the SEC meeting to the West. But we also understand that there are sometimes logistical challenges with getting out to the SEC meetings. So that's why we're also very excited to be presenting a hybrid option to you all. We're going to make sure that folks can be there in person and also virtually. So it helps folks that are working, folks that may not be able to, that cannot afford childcare, for folks to be able to make that trip. And so it makes it more accessible for us to have our SEC meetings like this. And I'm really excited that Buncombe has been able to work with us so well on that. So a very big thank you. And we also want to make sure that we are patronizing Western North Carolina as much as we can while we're there. So if you all can stay the trip with us, Naya's got some fantastic room blocks that I know she's going to talk about, and just other opportunities for you all to stay out in Western North Carolina with us for the weekend. But again, congratulations. This is an exciting opportunity, and I just thank you all for being willing to serve. I know my county chairs are on here, my precinct chairs, the people that do the thankless work each and every day in your communities. So just from my bottom of my heart, thank you for what you do. And thank you to the staff too for all the hard work that you put into this party. Christy, I'll pass it back to you.
Motion carries. So we will hold off on.
Okay. We'll stay on the mute button. Okay. So what is the State Executive Committee? I'm jumping right into the nitty-gritty here. So the State Executive Committee, the SEC, is our party's governing body. So this group helps set the direction for the state party, and that is all about organizing victory. Our job is to get Democrats elected. Also, the staff is here to provide support to the body, to the SEC. And We just got past the period where SEC members were elected at county conventions, which are held in odd number years. And what that means, in case you didn't add it up just yet, this is a 2-year commitment. So you will be serving in this role for a 2-year term. What I'm going to talk about tonight is based on the information that's in the plan of organization. So this is the formal guiding document for all of our party's operations. To be honest, I find it a little lawyerly. So, what I am doing tonight is hopefully taking the information from the plan of organization and making it a little bit easier to digest. No offense to the lawyers here. But what you should do is bookmark this document. If you're having trouble sleeping, you could read it cover to cover. What I do is I tend to search for it. So if there's a question or an issue that comes up, I can search for keywords and go to the relevant passages. Pages 45 through 55 cover state organization. There's a section specifically about the SEC. And when I send these slides in a follow-up email, I've got that little clicky icon. When this comes through as a PDF, if you click on that, it will open the plan of organization. One last note here is always check that you are looking at the most recent version. So the version we are working with right now is from February 22nd of this year. High level, this is kind of what our party organizing structure looks like. I'm not a hierarchical person, so I don't want this to really come across as a hierarchy. It's more about the scale. So we've been through our precinct organizing period, 2,700-ish precincts across the state in 100 counties, 14 congressional districts. And there is the alphabet soup of other organizations. So the Democratic National Committee, the Democratic Senate Campaign Committee, Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, Democratic Governors Association, and the State Executive Committee. So it's about 600-ish members, and the members come from all of these groups. It includes our party leaders, so our officers who are here today. Every county party chair and district chair is automatically a member of the SEC. And then about 450 or so were elected at county conventions. There is also an executive council, and that's a bit of a subset of the state executive committee, and you can see the leaders who are included in that. And with that, I am going to pass it over to Jonah. Jonah?
Thank you, Christy. Everyone, again, thank you for being here. Jonah Garson, first vice chair. I'm an attorney and organizer by background. I've met many of y'all. I see a lot of new faces here, which is super exciting. Christy wanted me to be the heavy for this set of slides, which is to say, she wanted me to begin by reminding y'all that being on the state executive committee, especially for this probably second largest state party in the country, is a serious responsibility. We do a lot of work. We've worked hard to build a state party capable of fighting and winning some of the toughest fights at the ballot box, in the field, and in the courtroom. And we try to hold each other accountable, and we have expectations for all of you and for each other. So the baseline expectations, and these are things that are found in the plan, is that you attend the meetings. We have at least 2 a year. And if you miss more than one in a row in the 2-year term, which is to say, if you miss, and there are 4 meetings in that term, you shall be removed from membership. That's super draconian right there in our plan of organization. Now, if you have to miss a meeting, all that you need to do is you need to properly designate a proxy using our very easy to use form. Okay. So if you think you're going to miss a meeting, and we will announce meetings well in advance, let us know. Send someone you know is going to do a good job at paying attention, at taking notes, at being fully engaged, and at representing your interests. All right. So send a proxy. Christy, I think next slide.
Okay, well, Jonah stole my thunder, but you did a
Oh,
good
wait,
job.
was that
So,
Christy? That's my job for the rest of this presentation is to get one slide ahead of you on your slides and just totally steal your thunder.
yes.
Um, No, I think the things that are not in the plan, what I really did want to say, and what I think Christy wanted me to say too, is that we're doing a lot as a party, and you all have stepped in at a time when our party was organizing program, our voter protection program is frankly it's enormous. And so for those of you who are new, for those of you who are returning, I think making it your project to get your head around what we have on offer and what your role is going to be, especially for those of you who aren't county party leadership, who already don't have a second volunteer job within the Democratic Party, you at-large members of the SEC, think about what do I want from the next couple years? And based on what we're going to present to you beginning this evening, what do I think my highest and best use is? What do I think I can do the best at? What do I think I should be focusing on given my own professional backgrounds and experiences? So I mean, I think we, especially this crew, and I think Christie's does a really good job at connecting people with their roles that will feel most fulfilling. But if you have any questions, if you get stuck at any time, I know that all of the officers, Chair Clayton on down, are here to be a resource and to help orient you. Okay. Christy, did you want me to say anything else? Or do you want me to be a heavy in any other way, scaring people about missing meetings?
No, thank you, Jonah. I appreciate you.
All right, thank you. See y'all soon.
Okay, so for members, everybody on this call, Jonah mentioned there are 2 meetings a year, winter and summer. If you missed more than one in that 2-year term, you'll be removed from membership. Send a proxy. The form for sending a proxy is always shared by NI when it comes time to register, and that won't count against you. And we'll talk more about this, but the next one is June 28th. So if you don't have that on your calendar yet, mark the date. Also, as members, as Jonah was saying, it's really about participating in your county executive committee, the CEC, and there are going to be a million acronyms. Sorry about that. Attend the meetings. Maybe you have an opportunity to lead or join a committee within your county party. Donate time, money, resources, but think about what you can do to support your county party in our goal to organize for victory. To give you a sense of what to expect for this 2-year term, in the odd number years, so 2025, the state chair and the officer team are elected. That happened this past February. What's happening in June is we will be approving and renewing the charters for our affiliated organizations. Dorian's going to tell us more about that in a little bit later. And then we'll also be voting on resolutions. I'm not an SEC member. Y'all will be voting on resolutions and platform committee recommendations. I will include this in the follow-up email, but there is a session on June 17th where you can hear more about the resolution and platform committee recommendations that are coming up. So I will share that in the follow-up email. In the even years, so next year, there is the DNC reports, electing members to the DNC, so that comes up. And then in all years, the SEC approves the budget and considers recommendations from the Party Plan of Review Committee. And this group looks at the plan of organization, which you might hear called the POO or the plan. They look at that document, and as a body, you all have the opportunity to make adjustments to the plan. And Melvin, I would like to pass the microphone to you, please.
Good evening, everyone, and congratulations to you, whether you're elected for the first time or reelected after many times. I'm Melvin Williams, your state party secretary, and I live in Duplin County. I'm just very proud to work with all of you because the decisions that you make are going to determine the future of our party. That you hold the party's future in your hand. I invite you to come to the meeting in Asheville and everywhere with what? With a friendly spirit. It's amazing how much we can get done when people come with a friendly spirit. Sometimes people are shy when they come to big meetings like this. Don't be shy, but if you see someone who is shy, like someone standing over on the side by themselves, or just a couple of people who look like they don't know anybody, walk over and meet them. It's amazing how friendly Democrats are. And do you know how you can get a conversation started with Democrats? You can always say, why did you become a Democrat? That'll get them going and keep them going for a good while. That's a great conversation starter. And listen to their story. Don't tell them yours. Listen to them. You remember our great first lady, Jacqueline Kennedy, said, the greatest conversationalist is a good listener. And that is so true. The greatest conversationalist is a good listener. And you can make friendships at the FCC meetings that will last you for a lifetime. Right now is a time of excitement. I always see on TV, especially MSNBC, they cover the rallies that are being held by hundreds of thousands of people across the country. There's an excitement and enthusiasm about fighting Donald Trump and fighting the Republicans like we have never had before, because they are such a serious threat to us. And we are very happy to see these people marching. The Democratic Party has a strong history of comeback. A few of you have heard me say this before, but twice while I've been on the FCC, the party has suffered massive presidential losses. In fact, we lost twice. We lost 49 out of the 50 states in the country voted against us. We lost 49 out of 50 states. But did we stop? Did we listen to the news media that told us that the party was dead? No, we didn't. We came right back. The first time that happened was in 1972 when our candidate was Senator George McGovern of South Dakota, and he was running against Ronald Reagan, running against Richard Nixon, and he lost every state in the country except Massachusetts. We got busy, and the very next year, the very next election, we elected Jimmy Carter, President of the United States. So the news media was totally wrong when they wrote us off. We're the comeback party. Another time that happened was in 1984 when our candidate was Vice President Walter Mondale running against Ronald Reagan. He lost every state in the country. Walter Mondale did, except his home state of Minnesota. Did we give up? No, we came right back, and 2 elections later elected Governor Bill Clinton of Arkansas as President of the United States. We're the comeback party, and with the enthusiasm and excitement that you are showing in attending all these events the party is having, it's a great time to participate in a comeback. And let me close by giving you just some personal advice. When you come to the FCC and you get up and speak, please make it something positive about the FCC and positive about the Democratic Party. We've noticed over the years there's 2 kinds of people that come to the FCC. One are the positive people, the ones who get up and want to help the party become better and say positive things about the party to make it stronger. The second group is the negative group who want to attack the FCC and attack the party and apparently pull it down and make it just like they want it in their own image. So please be positive. And we have limits on party speaking now that we did not have before. But it used to be anybody could get up and speak. And we had one person at one FCC meeting who got up and spoke 16 different times. And by the end of that time, people were very much tired of hearing that member. So be thoughtful of the people who are listening to you while you're speaking at FCC meetings. And finally, for the new people, I don't know if anybody's told you how the length of our FCC meetings. Most of the time, they last 8 hours or more. So stay till the end of the meetings. If I could say anything to you, stay till the end of the meetings. We have had several times where we get to the last 2 minutes of an FCC meeting, and the group would vote to undo most of what had been done in the first 8 hours, because some of the people that left, they always had a quorum, but they voted to change things that had been done, the major things that had been done at the meeting. So come, enjoy the FCC, make friends, and stay till the end of the meeting. God bless you all.
Thank you, Melvin. My gosh, I'm going to let that man preach. Appreciate your perspective, your enthusiasm. Always a good word from Melvin. Thank you. In the odd number years, I can't go after Melvin, but we're going to continue. Nevertheless, I will persist. So in the odd number of years, we do a lot of work as a party to organize. And we've gotten through most of our party organizing so far. We had the winter SEC meeting in February where Chair Clayton and our vice chairs, Melvin, everybody was elected to their positions. Precinct organizing was in March, county conventions in April, congressional district conventions are wrapping up now, and then the summer SEC meeting coming up June 28th. Anderson mentioned, and this is really important to us. Oh, and I'm skipping. Now I'm going to pass it to you in just a second. I do want to reiterate how important it is to us from an accessibility and an equity standpoint to have in person and Zoom a fully hybrid meeting. So, Nye, share some information with us about the summer's SEC meeting.
Hey y'all. So the SEC meeting is going to be on Saturday, June 28th, at 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. We're going to be heading out west to Asheville. We're going to be located at the Asheville Buncombe Technical Community College, specifically in the Ferguson Auditorium, which is one of their state-of-the-art facilities. We're really excited to head back out west.
I'm so sorry I have a typo there. My goodness. I won't stop yelling at myself. Continue.
Of course. So there are three main pieces of business at to this SEC meeting that's coming up. Those three pieces of business are going to be two votes and one presentation. You as a member will get to participate in, observe, ask questions of, and really kind of commiserate and talk about the way we can improve our party moving forward. One of the first pieces of business you'll be reviewing is which affiliated organizations get rechartered. I like to think of our affiliated organizations as our affinity groups that are housed within the Democratic Party. They each cater to specific constituencies of voters that participate within the Democratic Party. We are going to be voting to either recharter, so renew their membership, or we're going to be voting to charter their membership, as in they are a new organization joining under this umbrella. If you have questions about either of those, I would direct you to the chair of that committee, Aaron Johnson, or our Coalitions and Community Engagement Director, Dorian Palmer. The next piece of business you'll have the chance to vote on are the contents of our state party platform. I like to think of our state party platform is the values and policy aims that Democrats across the state adopt by saying that they're a Democrat running for office. So this is really important to know what Democrats stand for and what we represent when we are in power. That committee is chaired by Katie Tomberlin, and I would reach out to her with any additional questions you may have. But as mentioned earlier, we're going to be having a party platform and resolutions listening session on June 17th. I highly encourage you to attend. That's going to be a Thursday evening, and that's when you'll be able to get some one-on-one time with Katie and other members of the SEC to talk about what is going to be in the party platform this year. And then last, you'll be hearing a presentation from our two key staff members, Kian Sajadi and Lillian Taylor, as they review the strategic plan. This is an overview of our path toward success and turning North Carolina blue over the next 5 years. So I highly encourage you to see what the state party has planned, and what we're preparing for in terms of the next key elections. So don't fret. You'll be able to find all the information that we've been talking about today on the state party website starting Tuesday, May 27th, my birthday, the perfect day to launch the website. On the website, you'll find lots of different forms and resources, including registration forms. So if you can attend the meeting yourself, whether in person or virtually, register. If you're going to be attending the meeting with a proxy, so a registered Democrat in your county that's going to be attending in your place, register. If you don't know if you're going to be attending virtually or in person, please register. Registration is really important for the state party staff to understand the capacity that we'll be needing and our volunteer needs that day. Registering early not only helps the experience that you'll have the day of, but it also gives us a really good gauge on how many folks we'll be interacting with and which counties we need to show some extra love to make sure their folks get registered to prepare to vote that day. Because we're going to be out west, we always like to provide an on-site lunch option. You'll be able to purchase purchase that lunch option on the website as well for a low and quick cost. And then you'll be able to pick up lunch that day instead of having to like find it in the wilderness of Western North Carolina. And I emailed out today the hotel block information. So if you're coming out east or you're just coming from a different part of the state and you want to spend the evening before in Asheville, North Carolina, the NCDP has a hotel block with the Hampton Inn and Suites that you can sign up for online. And that is going to be for Friday, June 27th. Highly encourage you to do so if you would like to spend the evening in Asheville. As I mentioned earlier, there are going to be three main pieces of business at the meeting, and two of those main pieces of business actually come with accompanying documents that you want to read up on before you attend the meeting, including the list of organizations that are either seeking renewal or charter and their mission statement. The actual proposed platform and resolution will be consolidated, so folks will be able to read that beginning June 16th, and the member packet, which is your handy dandy document for the entire day. I encourage you to read up on the member document because it'll also include the rules of the day, the minutes of the previous meeting, and all the relevant documents you need to be prepared for the June 28th meeting. And then related events. We're going to be having two SEC member trainings, a little bit similar to this one, but much more focused on the content of the June 28th meeting. Those will be on June 25th and 26th, respectively, on Zoom. So hop on and chit chat with Christy and I again as we talk about the business of the day on Saturday, the 28th, and then a pre-meeting social. Whether you'll be attending in person in Asheville or virtually, we're going to be having two socials happening at the same time at 7 p.m. on Friday, June 27th, so our members can connect and mix and mingle before the business of the day on the 28th.
I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second because I'm going to stop my screen share and then I'm going to restart my screen share and hope that gets rid of the Twitch because otherwise I have no idea why it's doing that. Sorry.
Okay, I think it did. Okay. And if you want to see my friendly face every Thursday, we have an SEC working group call that takes place at 7 p.m. The upcoming meetings have all been scheduled out, so we either have a speaker or an activity that we're working on. And I highly encourage y'all to sign up for the June 5th SEC working group meeting, where SEC members will be phone banking other SEC members to encourage them to register for the meeting. As registration launches on May 27th, we want to get as many folks registered as soon as possible. So we'll just be calling each other to tell folks, hey, don't forget about the SEC meeting, register, and if you can't attend yourself, please assign a proxy so you don't have to use your absence.
Thank you, Nye. I have some suggestions and ways to stay in the know. So we've shared a lot of information tonight, and we're kind of always sharing a lot of information, right? North Carolina is an absolute hotbed at the national level. Locally, we've got a full staff. Like we are constantly doing the work. So I want to share some resources. First, communication is really important. And I would ask you to make sure that we have good contact information for you. So many of you probably got text or emails from us inviting you to this session tonight. Some of you didn't get it as timely as you would have liked. We have a lot of data, a lot of information we're trying to keep our arms around. So make sure we have good up-to-date information for you, email and phone. Check your email. Maybe occasionally empty your voicemail box. That will help us be in touch. And it's really important, in addition to getting information from us, but when it comes to registering and making sure that you are credentialed and can vote at SEC meetings, we need to have accurate information for you. Someone mentioned in the chat, someone jumped ahead on my slides, and it was not Jonah Garson. There is a group on Facebook for SEC members. I will share the link for this in the follow-up email. It's not run by staff, it's run by SEC members. And there is a small vetting process, but we post a lot of information in there. People have conversations about events that are going on. So it's a good idea to join that group. Also, we have recently set up a Discord server for the state party. I am learning it as I go. I will share the link. It's kind of like a Slack thing, it's a message board, and I will share the information so that you can join our Discord channel if that's a communication channel you appreciate. Warning, warning. If you unsubscribe from our emails or our text, if you reply to text and say stop, like we're not allowed to send you texts and emails anymore. So if you've been an SEC member for a while and you feel like you never get our emails and texts, perhaps this has happened to you. I accidentally did it myself yesterday, and it took me hours to undo. One thing you can do if you're not sure if you're on our email lists, on our homepage, there's this section where you can put your email address and your zip code to be added back to our emails. When it comes to texting, when you sign up for events on Mobilize, there's a box you can click that says, yes, you opt in for text messages. But please don't unsubscribe or report us as spam because then we can't communicate with you. And I know Jonah has something he would like to say about our email and texting platforms.
Oh yeah, we don't email and text you crap. That's not us. We think that all of the organizations and candidates that are filling up all of our folders with spam, we think that they do us all a disservice in trying to communicate real stuff, urgent stuff. So if we ever ask you for money, we're going to tell you why we're asking you for money. We're not gonna put in the content of something really sort of spammy and condescending to you. If we're going to ask you to do a volunteer thing, we're going to explain the what and the why of it. But we work really hard to make all our communications that respect you as leaders of the party. Okay. Don't unsubscribe.
Thank you, Jonah. I needed that advice myself. Okay. Also, participate. So, the SEC is here to steer our organization. In order to do that, you need to be an active participant in the work. So, this is really the most important part of your role. Attend the party meetings, engage in election activities, think about, as Jonah likes to say, your best use. Be a donor, be an organizer, host events, but be engaged with your county party, with your district, be engaged with the SEC. Also, for us to succeed, big picture, we have to expand. We need more people voting for Democrats. So always be looking for folks who can join you, particularly I've been encouraging county party leaders. This is a good time to have social events to find our Democrats. If you are in like a red area and you do some kind of public event for Democrats, you'll be surprised how many people show up and go, oh my God, I thought I was the only one. So be in the community and build relationships across your county. Who are the party stalwarts? Who are the volunteers, the donors, the people who are prominent in your community that you should build relationships with? Who are your elected officials? Are there like-minded organizations? So I like to be collaborative, not competitive. So I've got friends and people that I talk to who are part of Swing Left, part of Indivisible, part of other organizations across our state. Dr. Hardy, I would love to give the floor to you.
Well, thanks. Hi, everybody. So I am your second vice chair for the state party in my second term, and I am very excited to be working alongside all of you. My message for you is short and sweet. For the good of the order. I say this all the time. Jonas says your best and highest good all the time. I like to say for the good of the order all the time. And that's what we're thinking about when we're doing this work. I want you to remember your why and why you decided not just to become a Democrat, not just to become active in the party in something other than just a voting capacity, but why you want it to be a part of the state leadership. And that why should fuel everything you do for the good of the order. So when you're out doing events or you're talking to other folks or you're supporting other county parties, do those things because it's what's going to help the Democratic Party be stronger and more successful. Also, we are all NCDP. There is sometimes a uh, a tendency to think that it's just Anderson and the officers or it's the staff, but it's really all of us. It's really all of you. We are all NCDP together. There is no way for us to be strong if any of us are not really holding on to the reason that we're here in the first place. So there are a lot of opportunities to get involved. There are a lot of opportunities to be in leadership across the state, and we need you to do every single one of those. I myself am not just the second vice chair for the state party, but I'm the precinct chair for where I live here in Cumberland County. And that means that I am a part of the group that is the most granular level of local leadership, right? And so people come out to vote when we see them at the grocery store, we see them walking the dog, we see them when our kids are going to school together, and we remind them that something is going on. So, there's a way for you to get involved. And in a moment, you'll hear from Dorian, who's going to tell you about one of my most favorite ways, which is the affiliated organizations, but I won't steal his shine. Just know that you're here for some purpose that is so much bigger than you because it is for the good of the order. And all of us are here to support each other in that work. Without you, we can do nothing, but with you, there is nothing that we can't achieve. With that, I'm going to pass it back over to you, Christy. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Hardy. Speaking of affiliated organizations, Dorian Palmer, take it away.
Hey, friends, Dorian Palmer here, former president of the Young Democrats of North Carolina. And that's important because I came into party work through the affiliated organization structure, like so many other folks. So I want to talk to you about what affiliated organizations we have now, what affiliated organizations we have coming up this year, and who isn't going to be with us after this year or after the summer SEC meeting, and how we can go through the process of reorganizing. So for starters, we're chartering a new AANHPI caucus, Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander caucus, where we have our African American caucus, which continues to grow, our Arab caucus, which we launched just a year and a half ago, our college Democrats, our Democratic men who were recommending for chartering this year for the first time in about 20 years, our Democratic women, who is in fact our largest affiliated organization in the state. We have our Disability Issues Caucus and our Hispanic and Latinx Caucus. We have our Interfaith Caucus and our Jewish Caucus, our Labor Caucus, our LGBTQ plus caucus. We have our Muslim Caucus, which again is new about a year and a half ago. Our Native American Caucus disbanded on the 1st of April, which was the rechartering deadline, but that's something that we hope to bring back in the next biennium at some point. So be expecting to see their charter. Our Progressive Democrats, our Rural Caucus, our Senior Dems, our Teen Dems, our Transgender Dems, our Veterans and Military Families, and our Young Democrats. Folks, the work of getting involved in your affiliated organizations in your counties, in starting chapters in your counties, any of our state presidents would love the opportunity to talk about how to bring any one of these 20 affiliated organizations to your community. If anybody has any questions, I'm going to drop my information in the chat. Every Monday from 5 to 6, I hold office hours where we talk about these affiliated organizations. We can also talk about what new affiliated organizations look like, what working groups in the party looks like, and how we're doing the work of community through the work of the SEC, through the work of the party. So we ultimately all work to get Democrats elected in the midyear. Christy, thanks so much.
Thank you, Dorian. Okay. So that was about the SEC. Let's talk a little bit about the party, the NCDP. So we introduced all of the officers earlier. And when I share these slides tomorrow, you'll also have this list of our staff members. And I want to take a moment of personal privilege, I suppose, and say thank you to everybody who donates. It is really unusual as a campaign staffer to keep your job after November. And thanks to our donors, our staff has largely stayed intact and we are still going. This is why we can do year-round training. This is why we can do year-round organizing. This is the second page of our staff members. And we have our organizing team. So I am the only state party training director in the country. And we believe that one of maybe three organizing teams with state parties across the country. And that is because of our donors. That is because of, frankly, the successes that we had in November. There were painful losses, but people recognize that all of us working together did good work and that we need to continue doing that work. So thank you for that. And you will have that list of staff. It's also on our website, but you'll have that when you get the slides. And with that, I'm going to pass the microphone to Lillian.
Hey, everybody. So excited to be with you tonight. And I'm so thankful for all of the staff who was on the NCDP with us. We're going to talk now about our strategic plan, which will be part of the business of the day when y'all come to the next SEC meeting. We like to look at this as a guiding document for what are the goals that the state party staff and you all as members of the state party are going to be trying to accomplish, and how are some, specific measurable ways that we are going to gauge whether or not we are being successful. It's almost like a sphere of control. After the election, it was easy to feel very disheartened and a little bit scared. And then what my therapist was telling me to do is to think about what your sphere of control can be. And so this is kind of like our organizational sphere of control. How can we make an impact on the federal ecosystem in which we operate? The things that I want to stress, this is a living document, first and foremost. Secondly, it is a not all-inclusive document, and there may be parts that we missed. And that's why we think it's so important to get feedback from you all to make sure that you have kind of a high-level understanding of what the strategic blueprint looks like and provide any feedback before the meeting that we can incorporate beforehand to hopefully secure your vote, your yes vote, to give the go ahead for the strategic plan. But more than securing your vote, we want to make sure that it honors what you want this party to be doing and the direction that you want this party to be going. So there are going to be listening sessions that you will be invited to attend. You'll probably get lots of emails from all of us. Like Christy said, please don't unsubscribe. I'll give kind of a brief overview of what that looks like if you want to kick it to the next one.
Do you want to talk about why 2030 is so important?
Oh, yes. Sorry. Happy to do so. I actually might read a little bit of the second slide if you want to go ahead, just one. 2030 is going to kind of be what it comes down to for the state of North Carolina Democrats for the future. We have all very much felt the effects of what it means to have gerrymandered maps. Republicans have systematically diluted voter voices through the map drawing process to disenfranchise Democratic voters. And we are all, eyes forward toward 2030 so that we are prepared to enact fair maps after the next census. And so a lot of our big goals revolve around retaking the North Carolina Supreme Court by 2028 and winning the majority in the General Assembly by 2030. So when that map drawing happens, we can put voters of North Carolina back in the driver's seat. We think there are a couple of really important things to do to get us to that point. The first one is year-round organizing and training. You've seen that working, you've participated in it with your precinct organization. You're going to see our staff out on the ground knocking doors. I'm really excited. We want to invest in and communicate with the people of North Carolina so that we can be a better and bigger presence in communities. I do just want to give a shout out. At this time last year in 2024, we had 10,000-ish unique volunteers take an action with us. At this point this year, in a off year of 2025, we've had over 27,000 unique volunteers. That's because we're offering a lot of opportunities, accountability canvassing, year-round organizing, and it's because you all are participating with us. The second one is building up the party infrastructure. This is really honoring the investment that you all and our county party infrastructure give to the party. Building up the party infrastructure means ensuring that we have, well-trained, well-skilled volunteers where the state party invests our time and our energy in building you up so that you can do the work of your community. And then the number three, messaging what matters. I think we can all be clear-eyed about the fact that the National Democratic Party brand ain't good. And we've got work to do to fix it. And while I think that that's a threat, I also think it's an opportunity for the North Carolina Democratic Party to come in and redefine what it means to be a Democrat in this state. And we're going to do that through hard work. We're going to do that through finding individual messengers to talk to other people about what it means to be a Democrat in this state. It's about getting surrogates, finding messengers, training them, training you all to be the messengers in your community, and building the narrative of what it really means to want to elect people who are going to honor our future. And by doing those things, we think and hope and come to work every day in the pursuit of retaking the NC Supreme Court and winning the majority in the General Assembly. I think the next slide is that me still?
No, I think you kind of
Okay.
covered it. I had other slides, but you talked about it all. So I'm going to keep chooching. Just to what Lillian was talking about, like there's no off years. Normally people talk about, 2025 is an off year. I thought I would have a lighter workload this year, and I do not. This is happening year round, but it is cyclical. So just real quick, snapshot of what 2025 and what odd years look like. So we've talked about our party organizing work. We're going to have the second SEC meeting this summer. We're also really looking ahead to municipal filing deadlines and at the end of the year, the filing period for people who want to run for the state legislature next year. And let's talk about taking action and how all of us moving together in the same direction are the big fish? I don't know. I like that graphic though. So we're going to talk about ways to take action. If you have attended the session, I lead on how to influence your elected official. We talk about this a lot. This community is fantastic. It's grim out there. Everything is happening everywhere all at once. Jonah talked about this a little bit too. When you think about where to plug in, think about what you're most passionate about. Think about where you can have the greatest impact might not be the same thing as what you're most passionate about. Where do you have unique skills, experiences, or perspectives, and how can you put that to work to move our party forward? If you're interested in running for office, we are recruiting for people to run in municipal elections this year. We are, of course, looking ahead to 2026 and our elections then. Another resource for you, I talked about how important it is to follow us on social media. We also have a content package email that I encourage you to sign up for, a weekly email that says these are the talking points, and here are graphics you can use on social media, and they're sized appropriately, and they have sample captions and alt image description. So it's a really nice package for you. Dorian, once a month, hold at least once a month, we hold an event in Raleigh at the General Assembly where we show up in mass so that they know they can't operate in darkness. We are keeping an eye on them. And we've had some successes there where we showed up in force, and so they punted on a vote they were going to take, for example. That's a victory. And then when it comes to knocking doors, making calls, I am going to kick it to Sarah O'Brien. Sarah.
Thanks, Christy. I'm really excited to be working with a team of organizers across the state who are committed to a robust direct voter contact program in every county. And this year, that looks like we're talking about making sure people know about our legislator, the GOP legislators, and the bad votes they're taking, are craven GOP judges who are making decisions that put their personal ambition ahead of our rights. And then in the fall, we're going to be talking about the great local Democrats who are running for municipal office. And so we're really excited to be starting this work. We've been already canvassing. I think we've had more than 25 canvasses in different counties across the state. And if you go to ncdp.org/knock, you can see that we have a bazillion coming up in June and July. So there's likely one in your county or a county adjacent to you. And if you would like to set something up, we are happy to work with you to make that happen. And I know Daniel's been putting our contact information in the chat. You can reach all of our organizers at rods@ncdp.org.
And who were our door knocking champions last year?
Oh my gosh, yes, that's right. We have SEC members who choose as their lane the chance to knock doors. And so Elaine Ogle and Margaret Levin were top of the leaderboard last year for most doors knocked. Each knocked like more than 2,000 and 2,500 doors. So yeah, cheers for that. We have the leaderboard. We're going to get that booted up again for this year. So friendly competition is always good. And if knocking doors is not your thing, but you like to make calls, we have 2 phone banks at least each week. One's in the evening, one's in the afternoons. You can see the link there. It's /call and sign up for one of those. You'll get to meet the organizing team. We kind of rotate through leading those, and we make calls. Mostly we're making really friendly calls to past volunteers and volunteer prospects. So these are great calls to be making, sort of at this point in the cycle to build our base.
Thank you, Sarah. Now I'm going to get the most glamorous slide of all, Robert's Rules of Order. Who loves parliamentary procedure? So I will share a training that was made a couple of years ago that talks about Robert's Rules of Order because we will be using it at the SEC meeting. So I will share that when I send the follow-up email, along with all of the other links that we have shared today. It is 7:58, and if you've attended any of my trainings, you know I start and end on time. I am going to stop the recording.